ये देखो तायर।
गुड मॉर्निंग सर।
मॉर्निंग। एक सेकंड, एक सेकंड। हेलो एवरीवन।
गुड मॉर्निंग सर।
गुड मॉर्निंग सर।
गुड
गुड
मॉर्निंग,
मॉर्निंग।
आफ्टरनून, सब सब कर लेंगे। क्या चल रहा है शशांक?
सर मैंने 3-4 और एग्जाम किट के क्वेश्चन ट्राई, थोड़ा टाइम लग रहा है बट
नो प्रॉब्लम। प्रैक्टिस इज गुड एंड इट्स नेसेसरी दैट यू डू प्रैक्टिस मोर क्वेश्चंस। अपना क्या क्या हो गया? आन्या हो गया, लीबर हो गया, एरिक हो गया, राइट?
यस
These are
सर।
the three questions that we have finished. Let me open the kit.
सर वैट और टैक्स एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन ही रहता है ना बस?
हाँ हाँ, वो मैं कराऊंगा। एक्चुअली मैंने टैक्स एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन के लिए समरी नोट्स भी बना लिए हैं एंड यू शुड गेट योर फ्लो चार्ट्स बाय मंडे। मंडे को आपको सारे टॉपिक के फ्लो चार्ट्स मिल जाएंगे। एक मिनट। डाउनलोड्स ATX किट।
सर कितने पेजेस है नोट्स के?
You want me to tell the truth or a comfortable lie for the next 36 hours? You tell me, I'll answer accordingly.
सर एक्सक्लूडिंग वैट और टैक्स एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन के वो उसको छोड़ के कितने हैं?
सब मिला के अराउंड 180 पेजेस है।
180?
हाँ, अरे बुक 1000 पेजेस की है। चलो, so right now I if you look at the list of questions, Anya, Lieber, Eric के बाद there is a question called Cada, which is a December 14 का question है। Interesting question, ठीक है? It's question 41 in the kit. Lifetime gift मतलब inheritance tax पे question है। Start reading the question till I set up the kit. So till I set up the Excel sheet. ठीक है?
यस सर।
Where is
सर आपने लास्ट वीक थोड़ा डिमोटिवेट कर दिया।
क्या बोल के?
सर ये बोल के कि एसीसी एग्जाम्स में दिमाग नहीं लगता।
दुनिया के कौन से एग्जाम में दिमाग लगता है?
सर ये क्या
यूपी।
बोल रहे हो आप?
हाँ,
ये क्या बोल रहे हो आप सर?
मेहनत लगता है। दिमाग एंड मेहनत आर टू वेरी डिफरेंट थिंग्स ना। There's a difference, right? आप 10 चीजें याद करके पेपर में जाओ आपका सिलेबस के हिसाब से। यूपीएससी के एग्जाम में भी या कौन से भी एग्जाम में, इफ यू हैव पुट इन द एफर्ट, तो इट्स इट्स एन आउटकम ऑफ एफर्ट, इट्स नॉट एन आउटकम ऑफ इंटेलिजेंस। दे आर टू वेरी डिफरेंट थिंग्स। मैं उस एंगल से बोल रहा हूँ।
सर आपको अभी मोटिवेट करना पड़ेगा।
अच्छा जी, आओ इधर नोएडा, आओ करता हूँ मोटिवेट में।
सर एक हफ्ता घूमने में निकल गया और एग्जाम के वांदे हो गए तो?
अरे, इधर रहने का, मेरे सामने रहोगे तो डर के मारे पढ़ ही लोगे। You are very innocent, Tahir. How old are you? 21.
Yes, sir.
I'm also 21 plus 13.
सर इनोसेंट क्यों?
हो अभी 5 मार्क का आंसर दूंगा बाद में भाई. हाँ. पढ़ लिया?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So should we
Yes,
begin?
sir.
चलो. Megha, please read the first requirement.
Okay, sir. Explain the inherited tax advantages other than lifetime exemptions, which could have been obtained if Cada had made additional lifetime gifts of quoted shares between 1st December 2022 and her death.
Question is, explain the inheritance tax advantages other than lifetime exemptions, which would have been obtained if Cada had made additional lifetime gift of quoted shares between 1st December 2002 and her death. You should assume that today's date is 1st of December 2026. Following the death of Cada, your firm has been asked to provide advice in respect of IHT advantages of making lifetime gifts, the legacy to charity required in order to reduce the rate of inheritance tax on Cada's death, the CGT and IHT advantages of varying the terms of Cada's will, capital gains tax planning in respect of Cada's shareholdings. Cada, who had always been UK resident, died on 20 November 2026. Cada is survived by two young daughters, Raymer and Yang. Raymer has an adult son. Yang has no children. Cada lifetime gifts and nil rate band. She has not made any lifetime gifts since 30th November 2022. Cada's nil rate band available at her death was 2,20,000. ठीक है. Cada owned assets worth valued at 10 lakh at the time of her death. She left her house valued at 5 lakh to Raymer, left cash of 60,000 to a UK national charity, left her remaining assets, including a portfolio of shares valued at 4,40,000 to Yang. None of the remaining assets qualified for any IHT reliefs. Raymer is not an accountant but has some knowledge of UK tax system. Has made 4 observations regarding her mother's estate and her inheritance. My mother should have made additional gifts in her lifetime. The tax rate on the chargeable estate should be less than 40% due to gift to charity. I do not intend to live in the house but will give it to my son on 1 July 2027. My mother paid CGT every year, but when she died, some of her shareholdings had a value of less than cost. Cada's shareholdings at the time of her death: quoted shares in JW PLC valued at more than cost, quoted shares in FR PLC valued at less than cost, unquoted shares in KZ Limited valued at nil. Explain IHT advantages other than lifetime exemptions which would be available if she had made additional lifetime gift of quoted shares. Now, let's understand what is the benefit of giving a lifetime gift. This is part A. Okay. So, any additional gifts of quoted shares made during lifetime of Cada will become chargeable on her death. Okay. Now, if the gift of quoted shares was made during lifetime of Cada, then the following benefits would have accrued to her. When gift is given during lifetime, it is treated as a potentially exempt transfer, but the gross chargeable value of the transfer becomes fixed, equivalent to market value of assets, equivalent to market value of assets on the date of gift less annual exemption. Now, even if the value of these assets increases between the date of gift and date of death, IHT on death is levied on the GCV calculated in lifetime calculations, and any increase in value is ignored while calculating IHT on date of death. Okay. And if the value of the asset falls, it is eligible for fall in value relief. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Then it is treated as PET/CLT. CLT भी हो सकता है, PET भी हो सकता है, depends on who is it given to. Individual to individual होगा तो naturally it will be a PET. If it is to a trust and all of that, then it becomes a chargeable lifetime transfer. ठीक है. उसके बाद do you think taper relief will also be available?
Yes, sir. More than 3 years.
Taper relief is also available if date of death is more than 3 years after the date of gift. Okay. These are the benefits that you will get.
Sir, also annual exemption 3,000.
That is correct, but they have said other than lifetime exemptions. Specifically,
Okay.
apart from that, they have asked, which is why your point is right, but we will not include it in this question. Okay. Is everyone with me in terms of part A?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Yes, sir.
Sir, I
Abhi-
have a question.
Tell me.
कि we are answering this, तो ये अभी हमने rules मतलब apply करे, तो अब हम सिनेरियो पढ़ के ऐसे भी लिखेंगे कि एक्चुअली में ये एलिजिबल है या नहीं टेपर रिलीफ के लिए, या फिर fall in value relief के लिए.
Fall in value relief, some shares will be eligible. Yeah, you can write. So,
बट ऐसे लिंक करने की जरूरत नहीं है इसमें.
not necessarily.
Okay.
ठीक है. Now, calculate the increase in legacy to charity which would be necessary in order for the reduced rate of inheritance tax to apply, and quantify the reduction in IHT liability which would result. This is that baseline amount wala discussion. ठीक है. Before additional gift to charity is given, let's calculate the value of death estate. Let's calculate how much IHT is levied. Then after you take into consideration the additional charitable donation, then we'll calculate the वो baseline amount निकलेगा, then we'll have make our calculation accordingly. Part B. ठीक है, कैलकुलेशन ऑफ IHT पेएबल, ठीक है, अंडर व्हाट सर्कमस्टांस, कैलकुलेशन ऑफ IHT पेएबल बिफोर एडिशनल गिफ्ट टू चैरिटी, बिफोर एडिशनल गिफ्ट टू चैरिटी। ठीक है, क्या क्या आइटम्स है? टोटल असेट्स है 10 लाख, ठीक है, जिसमें से कैश इज 60,000, हाउस इज 5 लाख एंड अदर असेट्स इंक्लूडिंग पोर्टफोलियो ऑफ शेयर्स आर 4,40,000। सो ठीक है, सो यू हैव हाउस वर्थ 5 लाख, ठीक है, यू हैव कैश 60,000, अदर असेट्स इंक्लूडिंग शेयर्स 4,40,000, ठीक है, टोटल है 10 लाख। उसमें से what will you subtract? You will subtract, see the house was given to her son, right? Or to the daughter, किसको, but it was given to a direct descendant, है ना?
Yes, sir.
She left her house to Raymer, that is the daughter, less RNRB 1,75,000. Then
Charity exemption.
less gift to charity, exempt है 60,000, RNRB 1,75,000, less nil rate band. उसने लाइफ टाइम Cada's nil rate band available at the date of her death was 2,20,000, दिया है आपको very clearly, minus 2,20,000 is the nil rate band, ठीक है। अब one thing, after you subtract gift to charity, you have your gross chargeable estate 9,40,000, subtract RNRB, subtract NRB, you will get taxable estate 5,45,000. Then inheritance tax at the rate of 40%, this into 40% हो गया 2,18,000. This is the inheritance tax liability that you would pay if the gift to charity is 60,000. Now IHT rate can be reduced to 36% if the gift to charity is 10% of the baseline amount, ठीक है। And what is baseline amount?
Taxable.
Taxable estate plus RNRB plus
Taxable estate
gift to
plus
charity.
RNRB
Gift to charity.
plus gift to charity, ठीक है। $5,45,000 plus 1,75,000, gift to charity 60,000. Tell me कितना आ रहा है?
7,80,000.
7,80,000. Gift to charity should be 10% of baseline amount, which is 78,000. So additional gift should be 78,000 minus 60,000, that is 18,000. अगर आप 18,000 और कंट्रीब्यूट करेंगे तो naturally आपका tax rate will be lower. ठीक है, चलो लेट्स कैलकुलेट दैट. कैलकुलेशन ऑफ IHT पेएबल बिफोर एडिशनल गिफ्ट टू चैरिटी हो गया. यहाँ पे करके देखते हैं आफ्टर एडिशनल गिफ्ट टू चैरिटी. IHT कितना आया? 9,22,000 minus 125 minus this 5,27,000. IHT rate is now going to be 36. हो गया 189,720. Reduction in IHT liability हो जाएगा कितना? 2,18,000. And what is the additional contribution? 18,000. ठीक है? With me, all of you?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
ये तो relatively मतलब all you need is now memory. You don't need to think. Ideally, you should just work on your memory part here. Now, explain the CGT and IHT tax advantages which could be obtained by varying the terms of Cada's will and set out the procedures in order to achieve a tax effective variation. ये ना straightforward theory question है, more or less मतलब conceptual question है, not too many calculations. See, right now, how much have you left to charity? You have left 60,000 to charity. You know that if you contribute 18,000 more to charity, your IHT liability can reduce to 36%. So, see, उसने अपने will में लिखा है 60,000 and you want the benefit of reduced IHT rate. अब उसने will में 60,000 लिखा है that now you have to increase the contribution to charity. तो कैसे increase करेंगे? You will have to make a variation to the will. ठीक है? Now, Nietzsche, if you observe, I do not intend to live in the house, but I will give it to my son on 1st of July 2027. See, when she left it to Raymer, she got RNRB because she was a direct descendant. But for RNRB, na ऐसा कुछ compulsory नहीं है कि it has to be given to your son or daughter. It can be passed to anyone in the direct descendant wala category, right? So grandson, granddaughter bhi chalega. What happens is right now she gives it to Raymer and then later on Raymer gives it to her son. So naturally, at the second instance, there could be an inheritance tax implication. Hai? So you should make changes in the will so that the house is directly left to Raymer's son. Otherwise, क्या होगा? The proposed gift of house by Raymer to her son will lead to CGT because it will become a lifetime transfer and private residence relief उसको नहीं मिलेगा Raymer को. Why? Because Raymer does not intend to live in the house. So वो जो line दिया है ना, that line is not for nothing. There is a significance. ठीक है? I do not intend to live in the house. So if Raymer gifts it to her son, if Raymer gifts to her son, ठीक है? Cada gifts the house to Raymer, and if Raymer gifts to her son, तो क्या होगा? CGT applicable since this is a lifetime transfer. ठीक है? CGT applicable because this is a lifetime transfer. Then no PRR since Raymer did not live in the house. है ना? And what else? Gift holdover relief भी नहीं मिलेगा because house is not a qualifying asset. उसके बाद क्या हो सकता है? What from an inheritance tax perspective? The gift of house by Raymer to her son would be a PET for the purpose of IHT and would become a chargeable transfer if Raymer were to die within 7 years of the gift. है ना? PET from an inheritance tax perspective. Okay. If Raymer dies within 7 years, becomes chargeable. Okay. If Raymer dies within 7 years, the gift becomes chargeable. Now, what is understand the situation. If Cada gives the house to Raymer, Raymer gifts it to her son, there are these issues. So, what you can do is, you can vary the terms of the will. Okay. You can vary the terms of the will and pass on the house from Cada directly to Raymer's son. Okay. So don't you think this will help to reduce quite a lot of CGT implications? CGT bhi hat jayega, and other challenges that are there, those will also go away, and आपका जो RNRB है still available होगा. Do you agree with this assessment?
Yes, sir.
है ना? Yes, Purti, tell me.
So here, just because the word gift is given, can you also write that gift holdover relief is also not applicable?
What is not applicable?
Gift holdover relief, because
Yeah, we
इसमें
did discuss ना. हमने discuss तो किया अभी. Gift holdover relief is not applicable because it is not a qualifying asset, right?
Yeah, I'm sorry, I missed it.
No, it's okay, no problem. But good that you are thinking, even if you missed it. The very fact that you thought about it means that you are well aligned with the concept. So I don't think you have any cause to worry. Okay? Is everyone with me?
Yes, sir.
So we discussed this, and abhi I'm not typing out the full part all over again. I will just make you read this.
सर इसके साथ वेरिएशन ऑफ विल का पॉइंट्स होते हैं ना, मतलब एवरीवन शुड साइन, वो सब वो भी लिखना.
That's the procedural part. वो भी है, because in the question ना they have specifically asked, how will you verify? ठीक है, पढ़ो इसको.
Yes, sir.
ठीक है. Okay. One last part. In relation to CGT, explain what beneficial actions Cada could have carried out in the tax year of her death in respect of her shareholdings. For CGT purposes, huh? Quoted shares in JW PLC are valued at more than cost. Quoted shares in FR PLC are valued at less than cost. Unquoted shares in KZ are valued at nil. what should she have done?
बेच देने से वो लॉस क्लेम कर सकती है अगेंस्ट द गेन्स.
Yes, sir. Negligible claim.
So if she sells the shares in FRPLC, which are valued at less than cost prior to the date of her death, she will be able to realize the capital losses. And these capital losses could have been offset against any other chargeable gains in 26-27. What were you saying about negligible value claim? Can you repeat that, Shashank?
So sell at a loss and then carry forward the losses.
When the value of shares has become almost zero or it has declined substantially, you can make a negligible value claim. Negligible value claim में क्या होता है? The shares are assumed to be sold and repurchased at the current market value. So let us say you had purchased it for 5,000 and abhi market value is 300 right now. You want to crystallize the loss, so you sell it at 300, assumed to be deemed to be reacquired at 300. But when you sell it at when you are making this deemed assumption that you are selling it at the current market value, which is 300, against that cost of acquisition is 5,000, so net amount ho jayega 4,700. You will be able to realize / crystallize the loss. याद आ रहा है?
Yes, sir.
Should I open capital gains वाला Excel sheet? रुको दिखाता हूं. ये देखो.
Yes, sir.
ठीक है. This is your discussion of the negligible value claim. So for those shares जिसका value has become nil, unquoted shares in KZ PLC, there you can crystallize the loss by making a negligible value claim. ठीक है? You can crystallize the loss by making a negligible value claim, which will result in a capital loss. This loss would be available for adjustment against other chargeable gains in the same period. ठीक है? So you have that benefit. What does it make sense?
Yes, sir.
है ना?
Sir, for quoted share value at less than cost, इसका क्या होगा? ये तो नीचे वाला हो गया ना,
ऊपर
negligible
वाले
claim.
इसमें गेन होगा ना. सो इसमें लॉस रियलाइज करो, इसमें लॉस रियलाइज करो, इसमें गेन आएगा. गेन के अगेंस्ट.
Okay. नहीं सर, मैं पूछ रहा हूँ ये जो कोटेड शेयर इन FRPLC है, उसमें भी negligible value claim हो सकता है क्या?
नहीं, वो नेग्लिजिबल वैल्यू क्लेम तब होता है when the value is negligible or close to zero ना.
Yes, sir.
The valued at less than cost doesn't mean that it has become zero, right?
Okay, sir.
Is everyone with me aligned on the thought process?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So see, if she does not sell it during her lifetime na, तो all the capital losses will be lost. She will not be able to get any capital losses. So before her death, sell कर दो, realize the capital loss and then move on with that number. ठीक है? Let me take you here. ठीक है?
Yes, sir.
Cool. Chalo. Now, I want to do a question which has a mix of unincorporated business, thoda sa IHT wherever applicable. So, this Risa wala jo question hai na, question 32, read that question please. We have finished. There were 8 questions in CGT. Joan, Alex, Ash, Pescara, Cada, Eric, Lieber and Anya. We have done 4 of them. ठीक है. अभी यहाँ से I'm going to do 3 questions. So I want you to start with Risa. ठीक है. Question पढ़ो. I'll be back in a moment and not in a moment. आप 5 मिनट लो, question पढ़ो, then we'll do it together. पढ़ लिया question?
Sir, still reading.
Yes, sir. Last 2 lines.
Last 2 lines. I want you guys to give me a suggestion. if I want to take a chutti, how come my friends don't know this? I'm in a classroom. Are you even my friend if you are calling me on a weekend, yaar? क्वेश्चन पढ़ लिया, उसके साथ क्या करना है वो भी सोचो.
Yes, sir.
चलो अभी क्वेश्चन करते हैं. ताहिर जी फर्स्ट रिक्वायरमेंट पढ़िए.
You should assume that today's date is 1st June 2026. Explain the relief available in respect of the lifetime gift made by Fiera to Perla as a result of Fiera's death.
Explain the relief in respect of lifetime gift made by Fiera to Perla as a result of her death. Okay. You should assume that today's date is 1st of June. Risa has requested advice in respect of the after-tax amount of IHT and reliefs available to reduce an IHT liability, the reliefs available for her share of partnership trading loss, and tax relief available for interest payable on 2 loans. Risa has recently inherited the residue of her aunt Fiera's estate. She left her previous employment on 30th September 2025. Aunt का estate मिल गया तो काम छोड़ दिया उसने. Became a partner in Perro and Company on 1st of October 2005. Has not made any disposals for capital gains tax purposes since the tax year 22-23. Fiera died on 8th of February 2026. Had always been tax resident in the UK. Gave Risa's sister Perla an investment property on 1st of March 2022. This was Fiera's only lifetime gift. Perla still owns the investment property, which was valued at 2,10,000 on 1st of March 22 and at 1,82,000 on 8th of February 2026. Fiera left the whole of her estate to Risa, except for a specific bequest of 90,000 cash to Perla. They are asking you a relief available in respect of lifetime gift. See, the investment property which had been given to Perla by the aunt, ठीक है, उसका वैल्यू कितना था पहले? उसका वैल्यू था 2,10,000. Then the value fell down. So, what relief do you think will be applicable here?
Fall in value relief.
Fall in value.
Fall in value relief. ठीक है. So, fall in value would have been taken into account in calculating tax payable by Perla following Fiera's death. ठीक है. So, एकदम 2 मार्क्स का क्वेश्चन है तो 2 मार्क्स के जितना ही आपको आंसर लिख के उसको छोड़ देना है. दिस इज
सर टेपर रिलीफ नहीं होगा क्या?
टेपर क्यों होगा?
3 years के ज्यादा है ना?
कब कब? चलो टेल मी, व्हेन इज टेपर रिलीफ एप्लीकेबल? आई एम नॉट सेइंग यस और नो, आई एम जस्ट आस्किंग यू.
सर अगर लाइफ टाइम गिफ्ट में 3 साल के बाद अगर डेथ होता है तो
Okay. So is it happening here? Is that the case? Is that the time frame? Died on 8th of Feb. Investment property on 1st of March 2022. So लिखना है तो लिख देना टेपर रिलीफ को, बट यहाँ पे क्या बोला है? एक्सप्लेन द रिलीफ अवेलेबल. यहाँ पे यू कैन राइट पेपर, बट इस क्वेश्चन का फोकस ना फॉल इन वैल्यू रिलीफ पे है, बिकॉज इफ यू लुक एट द डेटा इन द क्वेश्चन इट स्पेसिफिकली we'll discuss applicability of taper relief later, but यहाँ पे even if that was the case, I'm not saying yes or no to taper relief right now. I'm trying to tell you, understand the intention of the question. If you look at the data very specifically, it is saying कि 210 का 182 हो गया था. Value of the item has fallen down. ठीक है, value of the item has fallen down. तो the intention is to test you on fall in value relief, not on any other relief. And यहाँ पे ना also pay attention, they have said the relief, they have not said many reliefs, they are talking about one relief. ठीक है, so that
सर एक्चुअली ये होगा भी नहीं टेपर रिलीफ शायद, क्योंकि नील रेड बैंड कवर कर लेगा
right.
शायद.
But even if it was there, I'm just telling you why does it make more sense to write about fall in value. ठीक है.
यस सर.
Second part, calculate the amount of Risa's inheritance from Fiera's death estate after deducting any inheritance tax payable. You should include an explanation of the relief available to reduce the taxable value of the estate. इसको कैसे अप्रोच करेंगे? अच्छा, what are the items in her death estate by the way? Check करो तो. House Fiera's own residence were 3,70,000, 20,000 shares in Gato Limited, an unquoted trading company. Personal chattels 1,60,000. ठीक है. Now we first of all, अच्छा पूछा क्या है? If the question is in two parts ना, make sure that you answer two parts separately. Amount of inheritance from Fiera's death estate after deducting any IHT payable. ठीक है. So you should first of all calculate the मतलब डेथ एस्टेट का वैल्यू निकालो and then calculate the inheritance tax payable और उसको how much money will she receive at the end of it. So let's start item by item. There is a house that she has. Now house might become eligible for RNRB if it is passed on to a direct descendant. Direct descendant मतलब your own son or daughter. Who was the house given to? Have they mentioned that? They have said that she left the whole of her estate to Risa. And what is the relationship between the two? She is her daughter है कि क्या है? नीस है, राइट. अब ये पूरा हिंदी सीरियल वाला सीन तो चल नहीं सकता कि अरे शी इज जस्ट लाइक माय डॉटर तो लेट मी क्लेम आरएनआरबी. इट वोंट वर्क दैट वे है ना. शी हैज टू बी अ बायोलॉजिकल डॉटर of this person, biological जो भी whatever you want to call it. So the niece will not be eligible for, मतलब transfer to niece does not bring in RNRB in the picture. Now बाकी का जो है, अच्छा this house में तो कोई benefit नहीं है RNRB का. 20,000 shares in Gato Limited, an unquoted trading company. Can you think of any deductions or reliefs when unquoted shares are gifted?
DPR.
Business property relief. Unincorporated business and shares in an unquoted trading company. Unquoted trading company के लिए do you need to have controlling interest? Controlling stake का जरूरत है?
नो सर.
No. But if there are securities in an unquoted company, not shares, securities in an unquoted company,
Right.
need controlling stake. If quoted shares होगा तो 100 मतलब you need a controlling stake. Here it is not required. ठीक है. पर्सनल शैटल्स में तो देयर इज नो सच बेनिफिट अवेलेबल पर से, है ना. तो इस पे आपको लेना पड़ेगा 100% बिजनेस प्रॉपर्टी रिलीफ. हाउस एंड पर्सनल शैटल्स विल बी एडेड एंड देन यू विल गेट द टोटल चार्जेबल एस्टेट. ठीक है. सो लेट्स डू दैट पार्ट. Calculation of death estate and IHT payable. ठीक है. So shares in Gato Limited, unquoted company, 2,40,000 less 100% BPR, 2,40,000. Okay, then house 3,70,000 and पर्सनल शैटल्स 1,60,000. तो टोटल कितना हो जाएगा? टोटल चार्जेबल एस्टेट 5,30,000. Then check करो, has she made any other lifetime gifts? Because we now need to calculate the NRB. है ना? Check if Fiera has made any lifetime gifts.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Investment property.
The investment property, है ना? She has gifted an investment property. So what was the value of investment property? 2,10,000, है ना? At the time of her death, it was 2,10,000. Not at the time of death. At the time of gifting, it was 2,10,000. उसमें से आप 3,000 AE subtract करो, you will get GCV of PAT as 2,04,000. Nil rate band 3,25,000 minus this amount. ठीक है. NRB available is 3,25,000 minus GCV of PET that became chargeable on death. So NRB available is 3,25,000 minus 2,10,000 minus 3,000 AE minus 3,000 AE brought forward. So आपका NRB available कितना होगा? 3,25,000 minus 2,04,000. How much is it?
121,000.
1,21,000. ठीक है. Subtract nil rate band 1,21,000. उसके बाद क्या मिलेगा आपको? You will get taxable estate 4,09,000. अब ये मिल गया. अभी क्या करेंगे इस पे? IHT payable at the rate of 40%. IHT at the rate of 40%. This into 40%, 163,600. पूछा क्या है आपको? End of the whole discussion. Amount of Risa's inheritance from Fiera's death estate. ठीक है. So death estate में उसको now amount received by Risa as inheritance from estate. ठीक है. So shares in Gato Limited 2,40,000. House personal chattels ठीक है. Now यहाँ पे you will also pay inheritance tax for the death estate less IHT paid इधर क्या आएगा? See, if you there is a specific request of 90,000 cash to Perla, so less cash given to Perla. How much? Minus 90,000. So what is the after tax inheritance? ठीक है ना? Simple. Yes, tell me.
Sir, this 90,000 of cash that is given to Perla, it is separately included, right?
Separately included matlab?
Matlab, sir, it is a separate request made by Fiera that the cash that is to be given to Perla. So why we are deducting from this calculation?
It's paid out of the total estate. Now, यहाँ पे क्या लिखा है? Left the whole of her estate to Risa, except for a specific bequest of 90,000 cash. So total estate to Risa को गया, but 90,000 cash went to Perla. Now total estate value is the total of these three. उसमें से 90,000 was given to her, which is why Risa did not get that amount.
But
And
sir,
we calculate उसको कितना मिला, right?
But sir, I'm getting confused with the point that it says the total estate went to Risa, except 90,000 cash. So it is a separate part.
It is from the total estate. ठीक है? Left the whole of the estate, matlab from the total estate, except for 90,000, everything was left to her. Na? So it is included in that total amount, isn't it?
Okay, sir.
सर यहाँ पर टोटल आईएसटी पे किया हुआ है ना, तो 90,000 का आईएसटी दैट वन विल बी पेबल बाय और किसी का ना, वो रिजर्व में तो नहीं जाएगा.
IHT paid is the amount of inheritance tax paid on the total estate, right? अब उसमें से who gets what is a separate discussion. But on the total estate, how much did you pay? On the total estate, you paid 163,600, and the inheritance tax is usually paid out of the death estate, and then the remaining amount is given to the beneficiaries. So it's not to be paid by the beneficiaries; it is usually paid out of the estate. और उसके बाद अगर पैसा बचा, उसके बाद whatever amount is left, that is passed on.
Okay, sir.
ठीक है?
Sir, so if I do calculation according to what I was saying, so it would amount to wrong answer, right? It would
Yes.
account.
तो वो गलत हो जाता because the concept or the provision is worded in a very different way. And वहाँ पे specifically लिखा है ना कि out of the total estate except this everything was given to her. So that is also a part of the estate only, ना?
But sir, currently I am having identification confusion. Still clear नहीं हो रहा वो मुझे.
But यहाँ पे क्या लिखा है? Left the whole of her estate except for this. So पूरे estate में से Risa को everything else was given except for 90,000 cash. तो पूरे estate में से 90,000 was given to Perla. तो वो अलग से नहीं है ना? Left the whole of her estate except this. मतलब 100 के estate में से one amount was given to Perla and the remaining was given to her. तो वो तो included हुआ ना?
Okay, sir. And एग्जाम में सर आइडेंटिफाई कैसे करेंगे? यहाँ पे तो आपने बता दिया, चलो.
वो तो इंग्लिश लैंग्वेज का बेसिक वो रहेगा ना कि how do you read the provision and apply. यहाँ पे whole of her estate except this. I gave all of my 100 chocolates except 10 chocolates. So those 10 are included in the 100 only, ना?
Okay, sir.
वो अलग थोड़ी है. Now, state the options available to Risa to relieve her share of the loss of Pero and Company for the year ended 31 March 2026 on the assumption that she does not wish to carry any of this loss forward. Pero and Company prepares accounts to 31 March every year, has a tax adjusted trading loss for the year ended 31 March 26. Risa's share of this loss is 32,000. Options available to Risa to relieve her share of the loss in Pero and Company. When did she become a partner in Pero and Company? On 1st of October 2005. Her share of loss is 32. A partnership के case में for us, partnership is not a separate entity for tax purpose. If there are three partners, these, the gain bolo, loss bolo, everything goes to that person's individual computation, and it is treated as if it was a sole trader unincorporated business ka gain or loss. Correct? यहाँ पे she has suffered a loss of 32,000. Her share of loss is 32,000 in the partnership form. Now, if you observe carefully, the year end is on 31st of March 26, and she became a partner on 1st of October 25. They have said that she does not want to carry forward the loss. Don't you agree that in her case, opening year relief will apply?
Yes, sir.
है ना? It can be relieved against Risa's total income for 25-26, or it can be taken to 24-25, which is the previous year. Alternatively, because the loss is in one of the first 4 years of Risa becoming a partner, it can be relieved against total income of 3 years prior to the year of the loss on a FIFO basis. So again, it's a very straightforward question followed by a very straightforward expectation. कि आपको बस क्या याद करना है? You have to be able to recollect the fact that in case of partnership firms, ठीक है, in case of partnership firms क्या होता है कि your partnership firm is not a separate legal entity for tax purposes. तो जो gain और loss होगा partnership firm का, profit और loss जो भी है, that is split amongst the partners in their profit और loss का जो भी sharing ratio होगा उसके हिसाब से. And then after that, what happens? After that, if there is and then it is treated as if it is the person's individual gain or loss, and then all the calculations happen according to that. Okay, so quickly have a look.
Yes, sir.
So in this two, partial claim cannot be taken, right? It is not allowed. Entire loss relief has to be adjusted in
Yes.
the first year, then the next one and the following year.
करेक्ट. तो एक बार आपने पार्टनर्स पे स्प्लिट कर दिया ना, उसके बाद अनइनकॉर्पोरेटेड वाले रूल्स अप्लाई करेंगे.
Yes, sir.
ठीक है. Explain which of the available options for relieving the loss as identified in one above will result in highest income tax saving for Risa, and calculate the amount of this tax saving. Adjust it against profits of current year, total income of current year, या फिर total income of previous year, वो वाला approach रखो, या फिर opening year relief, what will be the most beneficial for her. ठीक है. Risa earned an annual salary of 96,000 8,000 per month throughout her previous employment, which terminated on 30th September 2025. She also received a bonus of 34,000 in each of the tax years 23-24 and 24-25. ठीक है. So what will be Risa's employment income in the current year? She joined the partnership firm on 1st of October 25. 30th September 25 tak she was working as an employee. So 8,000 into 6, 48,000 will be her salary. Okay. And in this year, she will be what? This is the year 25-26. 25-26 में उसको क्या हुआ? 25-26 में she got 6 months worth of salary. ठीक है. So let's understand that. In tax year 2025-26, which is my current year, Risa's employment income is 8,000 into 6, which is 48,000. ठीक है. Now she is a basic rate taxpayer in this year, है ना? Why? After deducting personal allowance of 12,570, her taxable income is how much? Tell me.
35,430.
35,430, which means she is in the बेसिक रेट बैंड, ठीक है. If we adjust the loss of 32,000 against this income, it will lead to a tax saving of 32,000 into 20% because you are in the basic rate band 6400. ठीक है. Now, in the tax year 2024-25, that is preceding year, Risa's employment income 8,000 into 12, 96,000. Bonus received 34,000. So total income is 96,000 plus 34,000 is how much? 1,30,000. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, she would not have been entitled to personal allowance, right? Because her adjusted ANI is greater than 125, 140. So, sorry, it's greater than, ANI is greater than 125, 140. तो PA तो zero हो जाएगा उसका, reduction
Yes.
of, and 125, 140 के आगे ना, you are in the additional rate band, correct?
45%, right?
हाँ. Since her adjusted net income is greater than 125, 140, she has lost all her entitlement to personal allowance. ठीक है. She will be a higher rate taxpayer, है ना? Sorry, higher rate नहीं, additional rate taxpayer हो जाएगा. She will be an additional rate taxpayer in this tax year. She has lost PA, she has lost everything. If you claim relief for loss in this tax year, है ना, क्या होगा? It will generate tax saving partly at 45%, partly at 40%. Correct? And
Yes, sir.
her total income will reduce from 130 minus 32 करेंगे तो क्या होगा? 98,000, which is below 1 lakh. So the full amount of her personal allowance will also become available, right?
Yes,
Now,
sir.
if you adjust the loss of 32,000 against total income of 2024-25, which is the preceding year, there will be some tax saving at the rate of 45% and some tax saving at 40%. ठीक है. After adjusting the loss, taxable income will be 1,30,000 minus 32,000, which is 98,000, and her personal allowance entitlement worth 12,570 will be restored. So it makes more sense to adjust it in the previous year, correct?
Yes, sir.
है ना? So कैसे होगा saving? इसका saving है 1,30,000 minus 125, 140. This is income above 125, 140. तो यहाँ पे tax saving होगा 45%. यहाँ पे कितना होगा tax saving if it is adjusted here?
128,000.
नहीं. So in this case what?
32 minus 4,860.
ऐसे directly मत करो. directly करने में sometimes it can lead to a problem. Calculate income tax liability without adjusting the loss, then calculate income tax liability after adjusting the loss. आप यहाँ पे भी कर सकते हो. Before adjusting loss, so total income 1,30,000. Yes, tell me. That is if we are claiming opening year relief. ना ये opening year relief नहीं है, ये तो regular relief है. Adjust it in the current year or adjust it against total income of the preceding year. Opening year relief थोड़ी है ये. Opening year relief में FIFO basis apply होता है. ठीक है. So 1,30,000 minus 125, 140, 4860. 4860 at मतलब वो तो फाइनल आपका ये स्लैब होगा. How will you tax it? 0 to 37,700 at the rate of 20%. 37,700 1 to 125, 140 at the rate of 40%, and 125, 140 to 1,30,000 at the rate of 45%. करो अभी. $44,703. Less adjust brought forward loss. यहाँ पे PA 0 होगा, यहाँ पे 12,570 होगा. क्यों? Because now your ANI is below this thing, below 1 lakh. ठीक है. This will be, अच्छा, sorry. $85,430. 37,700. कितना हुआ टैक्स सेविंग? 18,071. यहाँ पे कितना था टैक्स सेविंग? यहाँ पे टैक्स सेविंग था आपका 6400. यहाँ पे टैक्स सेविंग है आपका, इफ यू कैरी इट बैकवर्ड टू द प्रीसीडिंग ईयर, 18071. ठीक है. ये सेकंड सिचुएशन है, सेकंड वे ऑफ एडजस्टमेंट. थर्ड मतलब एक और ऑप्शन है, यू कैन यूज स्पेशल ओपनिंग ईयर रिलीफ. इफ यू अप्लाई स्पेशल ओपनिंग ईयर रिलीफ तो क्या होगा? Risa carries the loss back to the year, so 3 years पीछे, 22, 23, 23, 24, 24, 25 to be adjusted on FIFO basis. So you will have to take it back to the year 22, 23, है ना? In that year it will be relieved against the total income. Risa earned an annual salary of 96,000 throughout her previous employment. Throughout she was making this money only, है ना? And for how long was she with the company where she was working? पहले से था, मतलब they haven't really, have they said anything? No. Special opening year relief to be carried backward 3 years, adjusted on FIFO basis. ठीक है, to be carried backward 3 years, adjusted on FIFO basis. So carried backward and adjusted against 2022-23. ठीक है, यहाँ पे employment income is 96,000. No bonus. Why no bonus? Because question में specifically लिखा है that bonus of 34,000 was there in 23-24 and 24-25. If you adjust against, if you adjust 32,000 loss against against income of 96,000, ठीक है, और tax saving will be 32,000 into 40%. Tell me कितना आएगा, because now she is an additional rate taxpayer. कितना आएगा?
600.
कितना?
6400.
6400. 12,800. So now tell me, special opening year relief में सबसे ज्यादा benefit है, carry backward to previous year में सबसे ज्यादा benefit है, या adjust in the current year में सबसे ज्यादा benefit है? What do you think?
Preceding year.
Adjusted in the previous year.
Adjusting in the preceding year is the most beneficial approach. ठीक है, एक बार देखो तो इसको.
सर एक क्वेश्चन था
हम्म
सर, इधर लिखा हुआ है लास्ट वाले, मतलब ये वाले क्वेश्चन में कि एक्सप्लेन करने के लिए वी हैव डन द कैलकुलेशन आल्सो, तो ये वाला जो कैलकुलेशन है वो हम लोग एक्सेल में करेंगे, देन वी हैव टू एक्सप्लेन दिस इन द वर्ड, राइट? जैसे हम लोग एएफएम में कर रहे
सेक्शन बी का क्वेश्चन होगा ना, तो जरूरी नहीं है कि एवरी टाइम यू विल हैव अ वर्ड प्रोसेसर, नॉट नेसेसरी.
Okay.
वही करना पड़ेगा आपको. ठीक है, हैव अ लुक एट स्पेशल ओपनिंग ईयर रिलीफ.
तो सर ये सारे वर्ड में ही करने पड़ेंगे, मतलब जैसे जो भी आपने ऐसे
स्प्रेडशीट.
सर एक स्मॉल क्वेश्चन, मतलब आई हैव अ हैबिट ऑफ मेजॉरिटी में वर्ड, मतलब वर्ड में ही लिख देता हूँ आंसर पूरा अभी तक जितना एग्जाम्स हुआ. इफ आई यूज स्प्रेडशीट इंस्टेड, वो भी मतलब कंसिडर करेंगे ना? मतलब
For section A the approach is different. I'll tell you how to tackle section A. Section B में चलेगा, कोई इशू नहीं है.
ओके, मतलब आप इधर जैसा एक्सेल में ही सम करके साइड में लिख दे रहे हो, दैट विल बी कंसिडर, और शुड आई आफ्टर राइटिंग ओवर हियर इसको ले जाके वर्ड में इंपोर्ट करना होगा?
सेक्शन बी में कहीं पे भी चलेगा. इट्स नॉट सच अ बिग प्रॉब्लम देयर. ए में क्या करना है, आई विल टेल यू.
सर इवन फॉर द मतलब एक्सप्लेन वाले क्वेश्चन वी कैन राइट इन द वर्ड.
या
Yes, sir. Done.
ठीक है, अब explain how income tax relief will be given for interest payable on loans taken out by Risa on 6th of April 26 and calculate the amount of any income tax saving for the year 26-27. ठीक है, Risa on 6th of April 2026 took out the following bank loans. A loan of 50,000 in order to provide additional capital to Pero and company. Interest payable is 4,000. A loan of 80,000 to finance the acquisition of residential property. Interest payable in the tax year is 5020. Residential property will generate rental income of 24,000. Risa will be a higher rate taxpayer. Just give me a moment to think about this. We'll discuss it together. बहुत easy है if you just recollect. चलो, tell me. Loan, interest on loan taken to contribute more money to the partnership business. तो उसका क्या होगा? That will be allowed as a deduction from her total income, है ना? और interest on loan taken to acquire a residential property which is given on rent. So whatever is the amount of interest into 20%, that will be the amount of tax reduction. ठीक है? So part C, interest on loan taken to contribute more capital to partnership. Interest paid will be allowed as a deduction from total income. ठीक है? What is the amount of interest paid? She paid interest of 4,000. So total income will be reduced by 4,000. Tax saving is 4,000 into 40%, 1,600. Since she is a higher rate taxpayer. अरे यार, क्या कर रहा हूं मैं तब से? And interest on loan taken for residential property acquiring residential property which is let to tenants. If you take a loan for acquiring residential property and you yourself live in that property, तो उसमें कुछ benefit नहीं मिलता है. यहाँ पे amount of relief will be interest paid. कितना है interest paid? 5020 into 20%. बताना तो कितना है?
1004.
1004. Okay. This amount will be reduced from total tax liability. ठीक है, so overall tax saving कितना हो जाएगा? 1600 plus 1004. Tell me how much is it?
2604.
26. This is the
सर ये
amount.
जो लोन वाला जो रिलीफ है ये खाली रेसिडेंशियल प्रॉपर्टी में ही है ना सिर्फ?
Yes, only residential property, and that too let out residential property, not occupied residential property. If you yourself are living in it, so you don't get any relief.
यस सर.
ठीक है,
सर ये
Are you with-
ट्रेडिंग इनकम में बेनिफिशियल लोन्स वाला पार्ट है ना?
हाँ. अपना ये ऐसे एक्सक्लूसिवली ना बहुत ऐसा पी लेवल वाला कॉन्सेप्ट नहीं है, बट उन्होंने पूछ लिया, ये थोड़ा स्किल लेवल में ज्यादा था, देवास तो चलो हमने कर दिया. ठीक है, चलो, it's 1:15. Let's take a quick 15-minute break, come back by 1:30 and we'll continue. Hello, come back. ओके, अब लिस्ट के हिसाब से नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन है याकुई, YAQUI। मैं शीट सेटअप करता हूं, आप क्वेश्चन पढ़ो। नो 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 नो, मत करो याकुई, इसमें वैट है, डोंट डू वैट। पिकअप क्वेश्चन 30, टॉमस एंड इनेस, वो क्वेश्चन पिकअप करो। ठीक है, डोंट रीड याकुई, डू टॉमस एंड इनेस। याकुई में थोड़ा सा वैट है।
सर इसमें भी शायद वैट है लास्ट वाला क्वेश्चन में, लास्ट डी पॉइंट में शायद लिखा तो है वैट।
उतना पार्ट हम छोड़ सकते हैं इस क्वेश्चन में। द नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन ना हैज वैट इन अ वेरी, मतलब वो बहुत इनग्रेन्ड है उस क्वेश्चन में, सो वी कांट सॉल्व द रेस्ट ऑफ द क्वेश्चन विदाउट लुकिंग एट द वैट पार्ट। इसमें हम उतना पार्ट छोड़ देंगे अभी के लिए।
यस सर।
सर ATX एग्जाम में प्रोफेशनल स्किल्स को स्कोर करने के लिए कैसे कर सकते हैं? चलो इवैल्यूएशन कम्युनिकेशन एनालिसिस का तो समझ में आता है, पर एक जैसे आपने फर्स्ट करवाया था आनिया वाला क्वेश्चन, तो उसके अंदर स्केप्टिसिज्म डाला हुआ था, इसमें स्केप्टिसिज्म कैसे यूज करेंगे?
बताता हूँ। पहले लेट्स गेट द टेक्निकल स्किल्स इन प्लेस, आई विल टेल यू हाउ टू टैकल द प्रोफेशनल स्किल्स, डोंट वरी। इस क्वेश्चन में एक छोटा सा कॉन्सेप्ट है कॉल्ड बैजेस ऑफ ट्रेड, जो एक्चुअली टी लेवल में रेयरली कभी पूछा गया है। दिस इज एन ओल्ड क्वेश्चन, बट बैजेस ऑफ ट्रेड इसमें पूछा है, सो आई विल डिस्कस दैट विथ यू, डोंट वरी। दैट इज द रीजन व्हाई आई एम पिकिंग अप दिस क्वेश्चन। देख लिया?
Yes, sir.
ओके, सो क्या क्या पूछा है इस क्वेश्चन में, कैन यू टेल मी? बताइए, चलो, व्हाट ऑल इज गिवन इन दिस क्वेश्चन? रिक्वायरमेंट क्या क्या है पहले वो बताओ।
Sir, difference in tax payable, trading income से.
ओके, ठीक है। सो क्वेश्चन ना थोड़ा सा अलग है, नॉट बिकॉज ऑफ द वैट पार्ट। वैट तो हमने किया नहीं है, इसीलिए आई एम नॉट अटेम्प्टिंग। देयर इज समथिंग इन दिस क्वेश्चन विच इज स्लाइटली अनएक्सपेक्टेड। ठीक है, इफ यू ऑब्जर्व, लेट मी शेयर माई स्क्रीन। अरे यार, हाँ, ऑब्जर्व दिस। पहला तो पार्ट पूछा है कि explain with supporting calculations the difference in the total amount of tax payable by Thomas for the year ended 26-27 as a result of profit on the sales of sporting memorabilia being treated as trading income rather than chargeable gains. State two reasons why HMRC might deem that Thomas is trading for the tax year 26-27 rather than carrying out capital transactions. तो पहला पार्ट करते हैं। The difference in total amount of tax payable by Thomas as a result of profit on sales of sporting memorabilia being treated as trading income rather than chargeable gain. तो he is selling something. When you treat it as trading income, तो कितना टैक्स आएगा? When you treat it like capital gains, तो कितना टैक्स आएगा? That is what they are trying to ask you. You should assume that today's date is 1st of May 2026. Thomas and his wife Ines require advice in connection with the following: the tax implications of commencing to trade, the voluntary registration for VAT purposes, and the implications of purchasing services from overseas, and the tax implication of selling shares in respect of which EIS relief has been obtained. ठीक है, Thomas has always been UK resident, uses his CGT annual exempt amount every year, receives dividend of 500 every year. Thomas started selling items of sporting memorabilia from his collection during the tax year 25-26. मतलब किसी क्रिकेटर का बैट होगा, बॉल होगा, पता नहीं क्या क्या, he is selling all of that. HMRC agreed that these sales should be subject to CGT in the year 25-26. In April 26, Thomas started purchasing and selling more items of sporting memorabilia. Most of the items have been owned for around 2 weeks before being sold. Some of the items Thomas purchased were in a poor state of repair, so he has been restoring them before selling them on. Thomas will not be required to register for VAT for the foreseeable future. He will, however, consider registering voluntarily for VAT if it is financially beneficial for him to do so. Thomas will obtain advice on how to develop his business through the use of social media and has recommended a company based overseas in a country where the VAT rate is 9% to complete. He estimates that his total income less expenditure in the 12 months ending 31 March 2027 will be 14,000. Each item of memorabilia is purchased and sold for no more than 1,000. All of the costs he incurs are deductible for tax purposes. Thomas expects his profits to increase steadily after 1 April 2027. So this is the situation. Okay. If you decide to treat this as trading income, okay, so income tax will be trading profits are 14,000. Okay, let's understand that. So this is part A1. ठीक है, अब if he, or rather if it is treated as trading income, ठीक है, so trading income 14,000 less personal allowance 12,570, taxable income 1430, ठीक है, उस पे 20% tax,
Yes, sir.
tax at the rate of 20%. By the way, he also receives dividend of 500 every year. So dividend income nil rate band. No tax on dividend as he receives 500 pounds and it is covered by DNR. Okay. What if you treat it as trading income? Acha, one more thing. One more thing. Another aspect that you need to understand is class 4 NIC. कैसे आएगा class 4 NIC? Amount over 12,570 उस पे 12,570 के ऊपर whatever is the amount, you will have 6% NIC, है ना? So class 4 NIC 14,000 minus 12,570 into 6%. $86. Now, what if the sales are treated as capital disposals? Okay. Will there be any tax levied on them? Now, there is one point that should be a defining factor for you. What is that? Each item of memorabilia is purchased and sold for no more than 1,000. This point is important. The purchase price is no more than 1,000. Now, I want us to go back to the very basics of CGT. ठीक है, मार्च में किया था ये वाला पार्ट. वहां पे there is one aspect with respect to shackles which basically deals with the when are shackles taxable. ठीक है, तो वो एक पार्ट में ओपन करता हूँ. Give me 1 minute.
Sir, less than 6,000, right?
Correct. So I want you to see this for yourself. क्या दिख रहा है यहाँ पे? Shackles bought and sold for less than 6,000. Both purchase price and sale value should be less than 6,000. They are treated as exempt assets. है ना? So ये exempt asset वाले category में आएगा and because of that, no CGT will be levied at this point. ठीक है? Each is purchased and sold for no more than 6,000. If treated like capital disposals, ठीक है? The assets disposed of are or sporting memorabilia basically comes under the category of shackles. ठीक है, sporting memorabilia basically comes under the category of shackles. ठीक है, and for each item, and each item is bought and sold for no more than 1,000 GBP. If in case of shackles, the purchase price and sales value both are below 6,000, it is an exempt asset. ठीक है, so no CGT will be levied. यहाँ पे if you treat it as trading income, total tax कितना होगा? 286 plus 86. ठीक है, which is 372. So if you go for trading income, you will have to pay 372 ka tax. If you treat it like a capital disposal, you will have to pay this much. You will have to pay 0 tax. ठीक है, देख लो एक बार. Are you with me, all of you?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, second part is state 2 reasons why HMRC might deem that Thomas is trading for the tax year 26-27 rather than carrying out capital transactions. See, बाद में तो they have written कि earlier he had some sporting memorabilia, फिर उसके बाद he started regularly buying and selling these items, है ना? तो it's as if पहले he had, let's say, you had a collection of bats and balls and cricket cards, okay, and you were selling them earlier because you just bore हो गए थे तो आपके पास कुछ था नहीं. Now you found out here this is a very rewarding activity. I can buy and sell sporting memorabilia. People are willing to pay for a bat signed by someone or a ball used by someone and all of that. तो उसमें बहुत पैसा है बनाने को. So earlier that was not the intention, but now you started off with doing that activity on a more regular basis. So the basic analysis that we are trying to do is should it be considered as trading? Okay. Should it be considered as trading, or should you treat it like some sort of a capital disposal and just keep it at that? So to decide which of these should it be treated as a capital transaction, or should it be treated as a should it be treated as a capital transaction, or should it be treated as a trading income? There are certain rules which we call as the badges of trade. Basically, to decide whether a particular activity is trading activity or not, there are some criteria that have been given by HMRC. अब ये ना ऐसा how should I say? It's not a law. It's just an idea that they have propounded. If you want to distinguish between the two, then make use of these basic criteria bolo ya basic transaction set bolo. Keep on applying that. Okay. So what are these badges of trade? These badges of trade are some illustrative criteria given by HMRC, which will basically help you to decide the activity that is happening. Is it trading, or is it employment, or is it capital transaction? What are these criteria? One is subject matter. Assets yielding no income or personal enjoyment strongly suggest trading. Like somebody is selling toilet paper, वो उसका कुछ ऐसा खास use नहीं है ना, but items like land, art or investments, somebody is dealing in, or somebody sells a couple of paintings, that doesn't make it trading. That's still capital transaction. Length of ownership. Short ownership before sale indicates trading, though this alone is weak. Shares, for instance, are frequently traded without constituting a trade. There are people who regularly buy and sell shares, but for them it is not trading, it is just a side activity that they are doing. But in this case, in this example, they have mentioned, there are so many indicators to tell you that this is more of a trading activity. यहाँ पे देखो, they have specifically mentioned that most of the items are owned for 2 weeks before being sold. It's not a long period of holding. Frequency of transactions. Repeated similar transactions indicate trading, which you can observe here. Improvements to property, making an asset more marketable, blending and recasting, or indicates trading. Similarly, making an asset more attractive to buyers alone does not. So, making it more marketable and making it more attractive are different. We'll have to understand what is happening in this case. Okay, then reason for realization. A forced sale due to financial emergency is not trading. Somebody had 4 houses, but he needed funds at a very short notice for some activity that maybe there was a medical emergency or whatever. So he sold that property. That does not make him a property dealer. Motive. A profit motive strongly indicates trading. Absence of profit motive does not prevent a trading classification. ठीक है. Example, buying silver as a devaluation hedge, then selling it at a profit was held to be trading. So ultimately now the point is आपका intention क्या है? With what intention are you doing it? Finance. Borrowing to acquire an asset with the intention of repaying from sale proceeds indicates trading. So you take loan from a bank, you use it to purchase an asset, then you use that asset to generate sales, then income from that sale you use to repay the amount that you have borrowed. Then method of acquisition. Purchasing an asset points more towards trading rather than inheriting or receiving it as a gift. Finance wala condition kya hai? I purchased a car. Now, I purchased a car. For that car, I took a loan. How am I repaying the loan? I'm not using that car as an Uber and driving people around, or customer se jo paisa aega, I will use that money to repay the car. That's not the intention. What is my idea here? My idea is कि I have purchased the car. For that, I have taken a loan. ठीक है, मैंने गाड़ी खरीदा, उसके लिए मैंने लोन लिया. And how am I repaying the loan? From the money that I'm getting from my salary, not money that I'm getting from the usage of that car. Agar I would have taken a loan to purchase a car and then use that as an Uber in for driving, and I'm collecting cash from customers and using that to repay the amount, that is basically the financing wala part. ठीक है. Method of acquisition, purchasing an asset points more towards trading. Inheriting or receiving it as a gift agar hoga to maybe yaar it has just come to you, maybe you sold one or two items out of that. That does not tantamount to trading. And last is similar trading transactions. If the transaction resembles the taxpayer's existing trade, this further indicates trading. ठीक है, एक बार देख लो.
Yes, sir.
ठीक है, क्या समझा?
How to decide whether this is a trading activity, capital gain transaction.
Now, look at this data. What does it tell you? Selling of sporting memorabilia. क्या लग रहा है आपको? What does it appear to you like? बताइए. He's carrying out
Create a
frequent transactions. Ownership period is short. Items are being improved so that they are sold at a higher price. है ना? Now tell me, had you not studied the badges of trade, how would you have classified, matlab, without studying the concept that we read today, would you still be able to arrive at the same conclusion that studying the badges of trade did? What do you think?
मतलब ऐसा जेनरिक की ट्रेड ही करके बता सकते हैं सर, मतलब
मतलब
हमें
it's not
लग
a
रहा है
very
करके बोल
See, you mention the word badges of trade, so naturally, it gets a little more formal, matlab, it gets a little more formalized and technical. But even if that would not have happened, you would have still called it trading only, na? Because common sense would have steered you in that direction. Okay. Rare cases in your tax paper where common sense can be of, help to you. Okay. इसको देखो एक बार. ठीक है?
Yes, sir.
चलो. Explain two matters which Thomas should consider. No, we'll ignore this part for now because we haven't covered that. Okay. Explain the tax implications for Ines of her intended sale of Tavira Limited shares on 1st of June 26 and calculate her after-tax proceeds from this sale. Ines subscribed 72,000. Ines subscribed 72,000 pounds for 20,000 shares in Tavira Limited on 8th of October. The word used is subscribe. That means she must have purchased the shares directly from the company. The shares are qualifying EIS shares. Ines elected to defer the maximum possible amount of gain on the sale of painting against the acquisition of these shares. Ines obtained EIS relief of 18,600 against her income tax liability for the year 23-24. Ines intends to sell all of the shares in Tavira Limited for 95,000 on 1st of June 26. If undertaken, this sale would qualify for business asset disposal relief. They have asked you, explain tax implications on her intended sale of Tavira Limited shares. Now tell me, if we are talking about disposal of EIS shares. See, if EIS shares are sold within 3 years, तो क्या होगा? Do you remember? The conversation on EIS shares was primarily around within how much time are they sold. Okay. So I'm opening that particular sheet for you. Give me a moment. Chalo. Let me open the sheet and you can check the provision for yourself. देखो तो
सर वो फ्रोजन गेन चार्जेबल हो जाएगा राइट?
देखो देखो एक बार पढ़ो, read carefully. Tax consequences देखो, income tax consequences and CGT consequences.
Yes, sir.
ठीक है, CGT वाला देखो.
Yes, sir.
ठीक है. So with this in mind, let's tackle the current question. ठीक है. अब बताओ, how should we approach this question? First of all, shares in Tavira, if they are sold on 1st of June 26, that means Ines will have owned them for less than 3 years. So, what is the disposal price and what is the cost of acquisition? दोनों देखो, ठीक है. These shares were sold for 95,000. They were acquired for 72,000. Because these are sold within a time span of 3 years, so there will be CGT consequences. Am I right?
Yes,
CGT will be applicable? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now, EIS income tax relief obtained when the shares were acquired. And there was an EIS income tax relief that was obtained. How much was the relief? 18,600. Now, if the shares are sold within 3 years, if you remember withdrawal of the benefit wala discussion हमने किया था, so the amount of relief given will be withdrawn and now 18,600 will have to be paid to the government. Do you agree?
yes, sir.
है ना? Now, the sale of Tavira Limited shares क्या हुआ था? When you acquired these shares, what was the reason for acquiring these shares? कि painting पे gain हुआ था, ठीक है? There was a gain that happened on painting, and you wanted to use that gain. मतलब you invested in these shares. उस वो जो gain था, you wanted to tackle that. So what happened was the क्या होता है EIS relief में? Is the gain deferred? Is the gain frozen? Is the gain exempt? What happens?
Frozen.
Frozen. And when the asset is sold off, what happens? The frozen gain becomes chargeable, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So what was the gain on disposal for the painting? कितना था? 86,000 है ना? So gain on disposal that was frozen earlier will become taxable. Do you agree?
Yes, sir.
है ना? अब let me take you back to the EIS shares वाला sheet. Let's see कि वो frozen gain के taxability पे what is the specific rule. ठीक है? Let's open that sheet again. Any of the following will cause the deferred gain to become chargeable. EIS shares are disposed of by the investor or the investor, spouse, or civil partner, where only part of the holding is disposed of, only a corresponding part of the gain will become chargeable. ठीक है? So, any of the following will cause the deferred gain to become chargeable. EIS shares are sold by the investor, spouse, or civil partner, following a previous no gain, no loss transfer. So the gain that was frozen earlier will now become taxable. Do you agree?
Yes, sir.
है ना? Is everyone with me?
Yes, sir.
ठीक है.
Yes, sir.
So that is, so जो पहले जो आपका gain frozen था, the frozen part of the gain now becomes chargeable. And ठीक है, just give me one moment. इसको देखो. There is something with respect to the last line that we have to discuss. ठीक है, वो छोड़ के बाकी का पढ़ो आप.
Sir, can you explain the last line?
या वही एक है जो न्यू है, which is why I had told you कि लास्ट लाइन अभी छोड़ दो, ठीक है। ये ना दिस पार्ट ऑफ द रूल वाज जो EIS वाला डिस्कशन है इन द स्टडी टेक्स्ट, this part of the rule was there already that the gain on disposal of 86,000 will become chargeable, but it will be restricted to the qualifying expenditure of 72,000. What is that? So gain which is gain which becomes chargeable if EIS shares are sold maximum amount is restricted to cost of acquisition of EIS shares. अब ये जो रूल था ना, ये पहले स्टडी टेक्स्ट में था, फिर उन्होंने रूल स्टडी टेक्स्ट में से रिमूव कर दिया, लेकिन क्वेश्चन में रखा उसको। सो दैट इज, मतलब स्टडी टेक्स्ट में नहीं है, लेकिन क्वेश्चन में उसको लिखा है उन्होंने, मतलब इन वन ऑफ द आंसर्स दे आर स्टिल framed the question keeping this particular rule in mind, that gain which becomes chargeable if EIS shares are sold, maximum amount is restricted to cost of acquisition of EIS shares, which in this case is 72,000. ठीक है।
यस सर, एक डाउट था सर, जो कैपिटल लॉसेस है EIS शेयर में, सर वो ट्रेडिंग लॉसेस की तरह ट्रीट होगा, बट सर अगर वो 3 साल के अंदर हो रहा है या 3 साल के बाद अगर होगा तो कैपिटल लॉसेस, मतलब इफ वी सेल विद इन द 3 years तो सेम सेम चीज है, मतलब वही लॉस, और अगर ओके ओके सर।
ओके, तो हमारा वो टॉमस एंड इनेस वाला क्वेश्चन हो गया, और लेट मी सी यार, ये मेग एंड लॉरी वाला क्वेश्चन जो है उसमें भी थोड़ा सा वैट है। अगले क्वेश्चन में नहीं है। सो द नेम ऑफ द क्वेश्चन इज रॉड, ठीक है। क्वेश्चन 29 है, नेम ऑफ द क्वेश्चन इज रॉड। आई वॉन्ट यू टू टेक 5 to 6 minutes, read the question and try to make the calculations once, ठीक है। I'll give you a decent amount of time, ठीक है। उसमें क्या क्या करना है, आफ्टर टैक्स प्रोसीड्स फ्रॉम सेल ऑफ शेयर्स निकालना है, देन टैक्स एडजस्टेड ट्रेडिंग लॉस इन द पार्टनरशिप फॉर्म करना है, एंड हाउ आर द ट्रेडिंग लॉसेस एडजस्टेड एंड हाउ विल यू डू द सेविंग एंड ऑल ऑफ दैट। तो मोर ऑफ अ न्यूमेरिकली हेवी क्वेश्चन है। See, naturally you need to keep in mind all the applicable provisions तो याद रखने ही है, but this is a numerically heavy question, ठीक है। So let's do it that way. I'll give you 5-6 minutes to read. I'll give you 10 minutes to attempt, ठीक है। तो अभी it's 2:13, 2:13 हुआ है। 2:30, after 17 minutes I will check with you. I hope you would have solved some part of the question by then. कुछ तो आपने किया रहेगा, and then we'll do it together. ठीक है, चलो,
Yes, sir.
let's start. कर लिया क्वेश्चन?
सर आधा हुआ है, मतलब कुछ कुछ समझ में आया, कुछ कुछ नहीं समझ में आया। खाली वो शेयरिंग वाला हुआ, थोड़ा सा पार्टनरशिप वाला।
इसकी देखो 2 नैप भी हो गई है ना। Tahir, are you scared of dogs?
नो सर। ये तो क्यूट वाला है सर बहुत।
हाँ फिर इसको भी he's calling you cute. Shouldn't you say thank you?
सर इसका चेहरा ही नहीं दिख रहा है, हर जगह तो बाल है
इसको भी सामने देख, भैया को चेहरा दिखा। 1 मिनट, हाँ इसको रख
Sir,
देता हूँ।
he's so cute.
Yeah, he is, and he just wants to sit in my lap all day and do nothing.
सर ये तो स्टफ टॉय लग रहा है दिखने से।
हाँ है ही, स्टफ टॉय है ना। तो भी और कोई काम आता है तुमको? हाँ भौंकना मत मेरे पे। हाँ
सर इसका खर्चा अलाउएबल एक्सपेंस होता होगा टैक्स पर्पस के लिए?
किसका, कुत्ते का?
हाँ।
क्यों भाई, कैसे होगा? हाँ, अगर if I use him on Instagram and then he becomes a source of generating income and then I buy his food, then that food and everything will be
Employee
only
entertainment.
exclusively necessarily for the purpose of trade and hence ऐसे।
सर अंडर एम्प्लॉयर ट्रेंड में एंटरटेनमेंट कर सकते हैं?
क्या क्या होली एक्सक्लूसिवली नेसेसरीली थोड़ी कर रहा है वो कुछ, वो होता तो करते।
सर क्लाइंट का तो एंटरटेनमेंट होता होगा ना इसको देख के।
क्लाइंट का डिसअलाउएबल है।
हाँ ये देखो, ये बात बराबर बोली समर ने। करे अभी सॉल्व,
यस सर।
कैलकुलेशंस चल रहा है। शशांक, तुम्हारे यहाँ पे भी अभी बीजेपी गवर्नमेंट है ना?
यस सर।
हाँ
सर लोकल में अभी मतलब मैं जहाँ रह रहा हूँ कटक में, वहाँ पे कांग्रेस है।
अच्छा, मस्त टीवी पे एंटरटेनमेंट है। चलो, आई एम नॉट गोइंग टू आई नो ताहिर इज थिंकिंग कि आई विल एक्सप्रेस एन ओपिनियन। ताहिर, आई एम नॉट गोइंग।
मैं वेट कर रहा था सर।
हाँ, अरे आई एम एन ओल्ड हैंड। ही वाज लाइक तुम कुछ इनअप्रोप्रिएट बोलो फिर हम तुमको जेल में डालेंगे। मैं बोलूंगा ही नहीं कुछ।
सर इंस्टा पे तो आप डालते हो वहां पे तो?
एक बार डाला है और वो भी बिकॉज इट वाज अ मीम। आई नेवर डिक्लेयर ओपनली विच पार्टी आई डू और डोंट सपोर्ट।
इंस्टा पे तो सर देख सकते हैं आपका।
मैं कहीं पे भी आपको पता नहीं चलेगा वेयर डू माई अफिलिएशंस लाई।
नहीं सर वहां पे आपका इंक्लिनेशन इज क्लियर।
क्या क्लियर, कौन सा डाला मैंने? ही इज नॉट गेट ब्रो, आई नो दीज ट्रिक्स, आई एम एन ओल्ड हैंड, मैं नहीं फंसूंगा। शशांक, हु इज योर चीफ मिनिस्टर बाय द वे?
सर मनमोहन मांझी ऐसा कुछ है उसका नाम, मुझे
आई
याद
थिंक
भी नहीं है। मांझी मांझी नाम है बस, टाइटल।
I think after Naveen Babu, I think this people only remember him. I don't think they know of
सर
anyone
ये
else.
सर ये कोटा में पा गया है, यस।
Okay, chalo. You should assume that today's date is 1st of June 2026. Calculate Rod's after-tax proceeds from the sale of his shares in Lumba PLC and explain your calculations of the base cost of shares. ठीक है, Calculate Rod's share of TATP in Thora partnership. ये बाद में करते हैं. After tax proceeds from sale of his shares in Lumba PLC. Rod has requested advice in relation to capital gains tax implications of selling shares he obtained through his employer's EMI scheme. ये देखना है अपने को, ये अभी तक होना है. The potential income tax relief in respect of his share of a trading loss of a partnership which he has recently joined. Rod has always been a resident in the UK, was employed for many years by Lumba PLC before taking early retirement on 30th June 2005. Joined the Thora partnership on 1st of December. Made no disposal for CGT in year 25-26 other than the sale of his shares in Lumba PLC. Lumba PLC granted Rod options to purchase 20,000 shares under its EMI scheme. The market value of a share at the date of grant was 2.6 and option price was 2.3. Rod exercised all of the options on 1st of June 2025 when the market value was 3.9 per share. Rod sold all the shares on 1st of December 2025 when the market value was 4 per share. The gain is eligible for business asset disposal relief. ठीक है. He has sold shares in a company called Lumba PLC. ठीक है. And in which he had, उसके पास क्या था? उसके पास थे share options. Now this gives me a good opportunity to discuss one concept which which is a part of employment income और जिसको मैंने hold पे रखा था for a good chunk of time because उसके लिए I needed knowledge of capital gains and reliefs and all of that. ठीक है. So today before we move ahead with this question, I'm going to discuss share incentive schemes with you. ठीक है. वो share incentive schemes वाला जो discussion है, that's primarily on share options. जो हमने employee share options देखा था ना ATX में, ESOP and IFRS 2. These are those very share options that we are talking about. तो उस पे हम डिस्कस करेंगे, आज ही करेंगे, बट नॉट राइट नाउ. और पहले हम क्वेश्चन कंप्लीट करते हैं. वील कंप्लीट द क्वेश्चन फॉर द पार्टनरशिप पार्ट. फिर ये शेयर्स वाले पार्ट के लिए आई डिस्कस द शेयर इंसेंटिव स्कीम्स वाला फुल कॉन्सेप्ट विथ यू. ठीक है. Thora partnership has been carried on for many years by two partners, Abe and Bob. Prepares accounts to 30th November annually. Admitted Rod into partnership on 1st of December 2025. Is expected to make tax-adjusted trading losses as follows. Year ended 30th November 26, 47,000 ka loss. Year ended 30th November 27, 50,000 ka loss. Thora partnership profit or loss sharing agreements. Before admitting Rod as a partner, Abe and Bob split the partnership profits or losses equally. The partnership profit sharing agreement from 1 December 2025 are Abe, Bob 2020 salary 20,000 20,000, Rod को 0 salary. Profit sharing ratio है 1:1:1. ठीक है. Now, in which year did Rod join the partnership? Tell me. He joined in the tax 25-26. ठीक है. On what date did he join the partnership? 1st of December 25. Okay. He joined on 1st of December 25. And when does the tax year end for him or for anyone else? Tax year खत्म होगा आपका 5th of April 26 को या 31st of March को. ठीक है. So total loss कितना होगा आपका? You will have to consider the total loss and then you will have to allocate the losses. ठीक है. Is expected to make tax adjusted trading losses as follows. Year ended 30th November 26, 47,000 का loss है. ठीक है. अब let me draw this for you.
सर ये टोटल लॉस ऑफ द ट्रेडिंग कंपनी है या फिर पूरा मतलब सिर्फ इसका ही है?
नहीं, ये पार्टनरशिप है. ठीक है. थोड़ा पार्टनरशिप is expected to make tax adjusted trading losses. ठीक है. When is the accounting period ending? See, आपका accounting period कुछ भी हो सकता है, but all your calculations have to be made with reference to the tax year. ठीक है. अब 30th November 26. ठीक है. इस पूरे पीरियड का what is the amount of चलो अब आप, अरे यार मेरे से नहीं होने वाला ड्राइंग. चलो 47,000 is the loss. ठीक है, before admitting Rod as a partner, Abe and Bob split the profit or loss equally. The partnership's profit or loss sharing agreement is as follows: annual salary Abe को 20,000, Bob को 20,000, और उसके बाद profit मतलब loss has to be shared in the ratio of 1:1:1. These are tax adjusted trading losses. तो ये annual salary का क्या करेंगे? Tell me. डिसअलाउ नहीं करेंगे. जस्ट गिव मी 1 minute गाइस, 1 मिनट दो मुझे. So Tahir, what you said na is partially right. You said that these are disallowances. ठीक है. Now tax adjusted trading loss मतलब after deducting all the allowable expenses, trading loss is 47,000, correct? After deducting all the allowable expenses, trading loss is 47,000. After deducting all allowable expenses, trading loss is 47,000. Salary to partners is not a deductible expense. Okay. So that means while calculating tax adjusted trading loss, okay, while adjusting tax adjusted trading loss of 47,000, salary to partners has not been deducted. Okay. So tax loss after deducting partner salary is कितना है? 47,000 plus 40,000, that is 87,000. Now 87,000 is loss for the entire year. So Rod's share of loss is how much? 87,000 into, first of all, 4/12, right? Because he was a partner only for 12 months, into 1/3. बताना तो कितना आता है?
नाइन सिक्स सिक्स सेवन
9667. ठीक है. Rod's share of trading losses 9667. ये कौन सा पीरियड है? This is Rod's share of loss for 1st of December 25 to 5th of April 26. Can I also call it tax year 25-26? है ना? So gross share of loss for tax year 2025-26 is 9667. Yes, Tahir.
सर ये टीएटीपी वाला समझ नहीं आया लाइन, वो समझाओगी सर? आपकी सैलरी क्यों डिडक्ट नहीं हुआ व्हाइल कैलकुलेटिंग टीएटीपी?
Tax adjusted trading loss. That means this is profit or loss after deducting all the allowable expenses. Correct?
यस.
है ना? अब tell me, salary to partner, is it an allowable expense?
नॉट अलाउड.
No. So that means अगर ये allowable expense नहीं है, that means while calculating 47,000, जो expense allowable ही नहीं है वो deduct भी नहीं हुआ होगा.
यस सर.
है ना? So अगर ये allowable expense होता तो naturally you would have been right in assuming कि ये deduct हो चुका है. This is not an allowable expense. Correct? तो
Yes,
उसके
sir.
बाद और subtract होगा और आपका loss increase हो जाएगा. Right?
पर सर ट्रेडिंग लॉस इवैल्यूएट करते टाइम तो सैलरी को कंसीडर किया होगा ना?
सैलरी टू, देखो ट्रेडिंग लॉस कौन सा है? सिर्फ एक अकाउंटिंग का लॉस नहीं है. दिस इज टैक्स एडजस्टेड ट्रेडिंग लॉस. करेक्ट? तो टैक्स एडजस्टेड ट्रेडिंग प्रॉफिट या टैक्स एडजस्टेड ट्रेडिंग लॉस जो भी है वो कैलकुलेट करने के टाइम यू विल ओनली कंसीडर दोज अमाउंट्स व्हिच आर अलाउड एज अ डिडक्शन. करेक्ट? सैलरी टू स्टाफ नहीं है. सैलरी टू स्टाफ होता तो दैट वुड हैव बीन अलाउड एज अ डिडक्शन. दिस इज सैलरी टू पार्टनर्स. सैलरी टू पार्टनर्स इज नॉट एन एक्सपेंस ना, इट इज जस्ट एन अप्रोप्रिएशन ऑफ प्रॉफिट. इट इज नॉट एन एक्सपेंस. सो व्हाइल कैलकुलेटिंग 47 सैलरी डिडक्ट नहीं हुआ होगा.
सर स्टिल नॉट गेटिंग इट, समझ नहीं आ रहा.
आप जब भी कोई टैक्स एडजस्टेड प्रॉफिट या लॉस निकालते हो तो आप टोटल इनकम में से सिर्फ अलाउएबल डिडक्शंस ही सब्ट्रैक्ट करते हो ना.
यस सर.
राइट? अब सैलरी टू पार्टनर्स, इज इट एन अलाउएबल डिडक्शन?
नो.
नो. तो अगर 47,000 टैक्स एडजस्टेड ट्रेडिंग लॉस है तो वो कैलकुलेट करते टाइम जो डिसअलाउड आइटम है वो सब्ट्रैक्ट हुआ होगा?
नहीं.
नहीं. तो 47,000 का जब आपने कैलकुलेशन किया वेरी क्लियरली, तब आपने 40,000 माइनस नहीं किया. राइट?
यस यस.
फिर उसके बाद आपने और सैलरी दिया पार्टनर्स को. वो डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन ऑफ दैट इज अप्रोप्रिएशन ऑफ प्रॉफिट. दैट इज नॉट एन एक्सपेंस. है ना?
यस.
विच इज व्हाई.
सर तो अगर 40,000 नहीं दिया है तो वो सर लॉस को तो अल्टीमेटली कम करना चाहिए ना, बिकॉज इट इज अप्रोप्रिएशन ऑफ प्रॉफिट एज यू सेड.
Appropriation of profit, see, appropriation doesn't mean there has to be a profit. Appropriation of profit मतलब कंपनी के पास रिजर्व्स होगा, कंपनी के पास कैश होगा. ठीक है? सो कंपनी ने अपने पार्टनर्स को, सी पार्टनर्स ऑल्सो, उनको तो अपना घर चलाना है ना. सो वो कंपनी से अभी प्रॉफिट तो विड्रॉ नहीं कर सकते बिकॉज देयर इज नो प्रॉफिट. तो उनको पार्टनरशिप फर्म ने सैलरी दे दिया. Salary to partners, then interest payable to partners. These are all amounts that will be subtracted before determining the final figure of loss. But appropriation of profit matlab company's resources being distributed to partners. There is no requirement for you to have a profit to give salary to partners. वो तो कंपनी के पास कैश रिजर्व्स होगा, बाकी कुछ आइटम होगा which has been distributed to partners.
ओके सर.
ठीक है? अब this is tax year 25-26. ठीक है? He started on 1st of December 25 and यहां पे क्या हो गया? आपका ईयर कट ऑफ हो गया. थोड़ा सा इसको और सरकाते हैं. ठीक है? दिस इज टैक्स ईयर 25-26. यहां पे 4 months था. नाउ लुक एट दिस पीरियड. ये जो मंथ है इसमें दीज आर 8 months. करेक्ट? 87,000 इंटू 8/12 कितना आता है बताओ?
सर 19333.33।
पहले टोटल तो बताओ, फिर बताना रॉड का शेयर। पहले टोटल बताओ। 29 3 87, 29 2 58, 58,000 होगा, राइट?
हाँ यस सर।
हाँ, एंड ये कौन सी डेट है? दिस इज 6 अप्रैल 26। ठीक है, ये है 6 अप्रैल 26। ये कहां तक जाएगा? दिस विल गो राइट अप टू 5 अप्रैल 27, तभी जाके आपका टैक्स ईयर कंप्लीट होगा, राइट? ये क्या डेट है? दिस डेट इज 5 अप्रैल 27। ओके, अब ये देखिए, 6 अप्रैल 26 टू 5 अप्रैल 27, एंड क्या है? ईयर एंडेड 30 नवंबर 27। अब ये ऑब्जर्व करो, यहां से ईयर स्टार्ट हुआ, अब ये जो पीरियड है, विच पीरियड? 30 नवंबर 26 से लेके अप टू दिस डेट। ठीक है, दीज आर अगेन 12 मंथ्स, जिसका लॉस है 50,000। 50,000 ही है ना? हाँ, तो अब 30 नवंबर 26 से 5 अप्रैल 27 कितने मंथ्स हो जाएंगे? अनदर 4 मंथ्स अगेन। सो ये है 4 मंथ्स। इधर लॉस होगा 50,000 इंटू 4/12, कितना होगा बताओ? बताओ।
16666.66।
16667। ठीक है, अब ये लो 58,000, ये लो 16667, तो टैक्स ईयर 2627 कितना होगा? 58,000 प्लस 16667, बताओ, टोटल बताओ। 74,667, करेक्ट है ना?
सर इसमें आपने सैलरी नहीं लिया क्या 40,000 वाला?
50,000 में फिर से अपने को लेना पड़ेगा। ठीक है, यहाँ पे लॉस इज इट 50,000, और इस ईयर में भी सैलरी पे हुआ है ना 20,000। सो हियर 12 मंथ का लॉस इज 50,000 प्लस 40,000, दैट इज 90,000। ठीक है, तो यहाँ पे हो जाएगा 4 मंथ्स का लॉस 90,000 इंटू 4/12, 30,000। तो टोटल लॉस 58 प्लस 30, 88,000। What is Rod's share? 88,000 इंटू 1/3, बताना तो कितना आता है? 29,333। So what all do you have now? You have 9667 and you have 29,333। टोटल लॉस कितना है उसका? बताओ। टेल मी टोटल लॉस।
2627 में तो 29,333 है टोटल लॉस।
29,333 बराबर है 9667। अब ये एडजस्ट कैसे होगा बताना तो। Rod has a trading loss of 9667 in 25-26 and a trading loss of 29,333 in 26-27. ठीक है, the loss can be carried backward and adjusted against Rod's total income of the 3 years prior to the tax year of loss. इसको opening year, special opening year relief मिलेगा. Do you agree?
Yes sir.
That Rod will get special opening year relief on a FIFO basis. 25-26 का 3 साल कैरी बैकवर्ड करो, 22-23, 23-24, 24-25। ठीक है, 26-27 का भी 3 साल बैकवर्ड जा सकता है ना?
Yes, sir.
Make sense?
Yes, sir.
अच्छा, in each of these years, is he a higher rate taxpayer or a basic rate taxpayer? बताना तो.
Higher rate taxpayer.
Employment income, dividend, he is basically a higher rate taxpayer in each of these years. ठीक है?
सर 25-26 में नहीं होगा, बेसिक रेट होगा.
25-26 में नहीं होगा, करेक्ट. बट 25-26 is the current year. आप पीछे लेके जा रहे हो तो in all of the 3 years he is going to be a higher rate taxpayer. So आपको you will have to then calculate the tax saving that will be generated in his case. Are you with me, all of you?
Yes, sir.
I'm thinking of some. पहले आप लिख लो, then I have something very interesting in mind. ठीक है? लिख लो, नहीं पढ़ लो, लिखना कुछ नहीं है, बस पढ़ना है इसको. Have a look.
सर ये वाला पार्ट में सिर्फ कैलकुलेट लिखा हुआ है, तो वो टेबल फॉर्मेट में कैलकुलेट करके छोड़ देने से कम बन जाएगा.
वो टेबल फॉर्मेट तो बेस्ट है. I showed it with a diagram because I wanted you to see how it goes. But आप टेबल फॉर्मेट में करो, no issue.
यस सर. यस सर, डन.
What I am thinking is this. Let's ये जो share incentive scheme है ना, the part that I was talking to you about, share incentive scheme के questions are there in multiple situations. तो ऐसा करते हैं, let's do all the share incentive scheme का questions together. So अपना अलग अलग टॉपिक्स का मतलब अलग अलग क्वेश्चंस में शेयर इंसेंटिव स्कीम वाला पार्ट अपना डिस्कस हो जाएगा. But before tomorrow's session, let's sit right now and finalize the questions that we are doing tomorrow. ठीक है? Because then I don't want फिर लास्ट मोमेंट में क्वेश्चन मैंने चूज किया, फिर उसमें कुछ गड़बड़ हो गया. I don't want that. ठीक है? Wait. No. So tomorrow we'll do share incentive schemes. This is a 45-minute discussion. Then we'll take up Methley Limited. Methley Limited में शेयर ऑप्शंस वाला पॉइंट है. देन डामियाना, इसमें भी शेयर ऑप्शंस है. देन वील डू डीमीटर, इसमें भी शेयर ऑप्शंस है. एंड ये याकोन. These 4 questions I would want to take up tomorrow. And आज के जो question का थोड़ा सा share incentives का part है, we'll take that up. So that's the plan for tomorrow, and we'll finish the discussion on share incentive schemes. ठीक है? आप ये 4 question एक बार कल पढ़ के आ सकते हो, just overview.
Yes, sir.
So that जो
Okay.
share incentive part तो of course I haven't even taught you, तो वो हम करेंगे. But apart from that, ये थोड़ा सा the other calculations we can go through them a little quicker. And अभी अपने कितने हो गए? Weekdays में we had done 3 questions and today we did 4. So ऐसे करके अपने 7 questions हो गए हैं. Tomorrow I plan to do 4 more. So by tomorrow we should be done with a total of 11 questions. ठीक है? और
Yes.
ठीक है, अभी इसमें कल अपने एम्प्लॉयमेंट वाले हो जाएंगे. लेट्स सी व्हाट ऑल सिलेबस एरियाज वी हैव कवर्ड सो फार. ठीक है, इन टर्म्स ऑफ क्वेश्चंस अपना क्या हो गया? अपना ये हो गया, कैपिटल टैक्सेस में 4 हो गए, काडा, एरिक, लीबर, आन्या. ठीक है, देन इसमें रीसा हो गया, टॉमस एंड इनेस थोड़ा हो गया, मतलब वैट पार्ट नहीं किया इसमें, एंड रॉड हो गया. सो अनइनकॉर्पोरेटेड बिजनेस के 3 क्वेश्चंस हो गए. 4 + 3 7. टुमारो वील टेक अप 4 क्वेश्चंस फ्रॉम हियर. तो कल एम्प्लॉयमेंट इनकम के भी 4 क्वेश्चंस हो जाएंगे. एंड ठीक है, फेयर. फिर वील कीप ऑन फॉलोइंग द कैलेंडर दैट वी हैव मेड. वेयर पॉसिबल, जिस दिन मुझे शाम को 45 मिनट्स भी मिला, मैं आपका एक एडिशनल क्लास लगा दूंगा. ठीक है?
Okay, sir.
सर सिलेबस में और क्या क्या बचा हुआ है?
वैट, एक वैट
और कुछ भी नहीं?
और
सर,
वो due date है. हाँ?
इनकॉर्पोरेशन रिलीफ एक था गेन का.
इनकॉर्पोरेशन रिलीफ एक छोटा सा टॉपिक है. फिर शेयर इंसेंटिव स्कीम बचा है जो मैं कल कवर करूंगा. सो दैट वे.
ओके सर. सर वैट कब करेंगे वैसे?
वैट इन दिस वीक, अपकमिंग वीक.
ओके सर. सर उसमें तो पूरा 4 आवर्स चला जाएगा ना, आप बोल रहे थे?
4 आवर्स,
Right.
4 से थोड़ा कम.
ओके सर.
ठीक है. यस ताहिर,
सर CIS वाला रिकॉर्डिंग हो गया अवेलेबल?
हो गया है, मैं अपलोड कर देता हूँ.
ओके सर.
ठीक है. यस अभिमन्यु.
सर मुझे था ड्राइव पे शीट्स ना 17 तक हुई हैं अपलोड. लाइक आई डोंट नो, लाइक मेरे में अपडेट नहीं हो रहा, बट लाइक मुझे 17 के बाद कोई शीट नहीं दिख रही है. 17.3
मैं
लास्ट.
चेक कर लेता हूँ, मैं चेक कर लेता हूँ.
हाँ जी सर. ओके सर.
ठीक है, चलो.
Thank you, sir.
थैंक यू सर.
थैंक यू सर.
Thank you.